Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we are testing another palette. The Beautybay Bright 2.0 palette. It looks like this. It is a bright palette. I do have the bright mattes, the original bright mattes. This one is slightly different in that it does have shimmers in there and it is a slightly different colour scheme. Let me grab the bright mattes and I'll quickly show you it. So here we have the two palettes. This one is the bright mattes, this one is the bright 2.0. As you can see, slightly different colour schemes. I think like the 2.0 has more browns in there, more greens in there. But yeah, those are the two palettes, but we're just going to be using this one today. I'm going to be doing quite a fun look, lots of colour, try and use as many shades as possible. And again, I'm going to do my base on camera, but I'm not testing anything new, so I'm going to speed it up and you'll see the products on screen, but they will also be listed down in the description box in case you are interested. But other than that, if that sounds interesting to you, please do just keep on watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up one video a week every Saturday and it's always makeup related, so if that sounds like the type of thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, let's make a start. Okay. So we had a little bit of a disaster. Basically, I got about a third of the way through this eye. My camera stopped recording, which it does after about 12-15 minutes anyway. And it didn't save. And instead of taking it off and starting again, what I decided to do was finish off this eye. It's not blended properly. I've just chucked the colours on to make sure they all work together. And we'll do it on this eye on camera for you guys. I'm sorry, it's not ideal. I would have much rather have you seen my first impressions, but it's gone on really nicely is the main thing. Obviously I've not blended them, so I don't actually know how they blend well together or anything like that. But this is the look we're going to go for. Hopefully it saves this time. Let me chuck on a eye primer. I'm using the collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer in shade 2. This is in my products to use up. That is pan. I've hit pan in it. I'm very proud of myself. I do also have some Beautybay brushes to test. I've used one so far, which actually I've already tested. I actually already have one of these brushes. It did come in a set with 5 other brushes. There is a pointed angle brush, a liner brush, a sort of flat fluffy brush, a packing flat brush, and a bigger fluffy brush. I've only used this one so far. I might use the others, I'm not sure. But I will say that these Beautybay brushes, the ones with the white handles, I have a couple of them and I actually think they're really good. I also have a couple of their brushes which have a rose gold barrel and then a black handle. I prefer these ones. Those ones are fine, they do the job, but I just prefer the ones with the white handles so far. Let's start again. That's a bit annoying, I'm sorry. Hopefully my camera saves it this time. I'm going to put on an eye primer and we'll make a start. Did the purple, filmed it, stopped recording to check it was saving. It wasn't saving, it didn't save. And again, instead of taking it off and redoing it, because I have another video to film today, I have 2 videos to film today. Instead of taking it off and starting again, I'm just going to carry on. But I will tell you what shade I used. I started with this shade here, called Thorn. Because I'm doing a split look, you kind of need to pick colours that blend well across the eye. So I know I'm going in with a blue on my inner corner. I kind of needed a purple that would work with the blue. This one's a bit too red, this one's a bit too light, that's obviously a lilac. So I went for this one. And yeah, it packs on really nicely. Purples are pretty difficult to formulate, or so I've heard, but it's gone on really nicely, it's not patchy. This eye, we're going to carry on with this eye, but this eye still needs blending, so don't worry about that. It will look better by the end, hopefully. Hopefully my camera saves some of my content today. Otherwise I'm just going to get annoyed and sack it off. But yeah. So this is where we're at. Let's carry on. The next shade I'm going in with, I'm going to do the blue on the inner corner, and that is this shade here called Infinity. Let's hope this saves for my sanity. That shade is packed on really nicely. Again, blues can sometimes be a bit patchy, particularly darker blues. This one isn't, Beautybay formula, in my opinion, is one of the best formulas on the market. I'm yet to be let down by their formula. Even if I don't particularly love the colour scheme of certain palettes, the formula is always 100% amazing. So yeah, and this one is no exception. It has gone on really nicely. I feel like I'm holding my head at a weird angle, but it's just because I'm not used to filming this eye. Let's carry on. I did just check, and that section saved. And what I think I'm going to end up having to do is just stop after every colour I apply and make sure it is saving. But we can carry on. And the next colour, we're going to carry on with the inner corner. And the next colour I went for was a green. And it is my favourite shade of the palette. Can you guess which one it is? Definitely my favourite matte. I haven't really focused much on the shimmers yet, so I don't really know which one's my favourite. But yeah, the shade Jungle here, it's a beautiful, beautiful green. I love these types of greens, they're actually my favourite. So let's do this colour and make sure it saves. Absolutely stunning green, my favourite types of green. I'm not really blending the shades yet, I'm just packing on the colours where I want them, and even without trying, it blends so nicely with that blue. I would really love to do like a greeny blue smoky eye with this palette. I think it would look gorgeous, and there's some really nice blue shimmers in here, bluey green shimmers that I think would work really well. But yes, that colour has gone on really nicely, I'm very happy with it. Let's carry on. Okay, that also saved absolutely fine, so what I might try and do is just let it run for the full 12 minutes, try and get this eye look finished, and hope that it saves. Oh, it's going well. So next we are carrying on with the inner corner, and I actually went for another green just because I know I'm blending it into yellow. I went for this green here called Playground because I think that will just blend a bit better with the yellow, because this green is very blue and it blends really nicely with the blue, but I just need something in between that sort of bluey green and the yellow, otherwise it'll just look a bit weird. So yeah, the shade Playground. That is a really nice green for what I'm trying to do. These sorts of greens aren't really my favourite, I do prefer the more bluey greens, but for what I need it for, it's doing really well. It is almost like a pastel-y shade, so it's taken over the other colours a little bit, but that's fine. When I go back through and re-intensify and re-blend, that will be fixed, so I'm not that bothered by it. It's a really nice colour. I am a fan so far of the palette. Now the next colour and the final colour we're using on the inner corner is this yellow here called Canary. There is also this yellow up here called Sunflower, which I did use on the outer corner, but I think this one will just go better with the greens, and then I did end up on this side just blending the two yellows together a little bit to make it a bit more cohesive, but I think primarily on the inner corner we're going for this one. Again, gone on really nicely. It's probably not a colour I'm going to use loads as like the statement colour in a look, but for blending out it is really good. And I should say that about this palette, it actually does have quite a lot of good blending out shades. It does also have a black and a white, which is really good because white can pretty much blend out everything depending on your skin tone. I'm so sorry. For me, white can blend out anything, but obviously for other people that's not the case. But I do think there's a lot of like deep shades, there's a lot of light shades. I'll talk more about the palette in general at the end, but I just wanted to mention that. I will say I am getting fallout. I got fallout on this eye. I'm packing the shades on quite heavily. It's to be expected. I'm not that bothered by it. Now we move back to our purple side. I'm sorry, I'm confused because I normally film this eye and my monitor is here, so I can look at my monitor while I'm filming, but then now I'm filming this eye and I'm just thrown off a little bit. But anyway, the next shade I used was this one here called Velvet. I could have gone red, but because I've got the purple I wanted something a bit more pink, so I've gone for this one called Velvet. That is a really nice pink shade. I think out of the reds and the pinks that's probably my favourite one, and also there's not really a colour like that in the bright palette, so in the bright matte palette, sorry. I really enjoy it. It's very pretty, packed on really nicely. Again, the blend needs sorting out. I will come back to that, don't you worry. But for now we need an orange. Oh, I'm knocking everything about. I'm going for this one up here called Fire. Again, I could have gone for this one next to it called Calypso, but it's just a bit too bright. I just wanted something a little bit more toned down. so we went for this one. Absolutely stunning shade. I will say I've done this eye angle completely wrong, but it's absolutely fine. We're not here to critique my makeup ability, we're here to talk about the palette, so we're just going to ignore that for now. Really nice shade. I think with this palette you could do such a gorgeous sunset eye, but I decided not to do that because that's predictable. But yeah, I do really like it. The blend is horrendous. I will come back to it, I promise. Now I'm actually using the Beautybay brush and I'm going in with Sunflower. I will also go in with a little bit of Canary and just blend the two shades together a little bit, but for now Sunflower. There we go. Mattes are all on. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go off camera and just fix the blend because I think it'll be a little bit boring to watch me do it on both eyes. But essentially all I'm going to do is just go back through all the colours I've used. It's going to take a while. Re-intensify them, re-blend them, make it look a little bit better, and then we'll come back and we'll do the shimmers on this side because I'm used to filming it. And I also have a liquid glitter from Beautybay. Let's get it out. It's in the shade Moonstone. I've heard it's meant to be a dupe for Made by Mitchell Drip Drip. I don't have Drip Drip. I will get it eventually, but I really want to test this. The main reason I wanted to film this video is so I can test this and start using it if it's good. I will use a shimmer from the palette, but I will just put this on top. But we'll get to that. When we get to that, I'm going to go off camera and do the blend. I'll see you in a moment. Blending is all done. I've also put a jacket on because it is absolutely freezing in my office. This eye looks better than this eye, as per usual. But yeah, blending, absolutely stunning. I took my time with it. I went slower than I normally would, but the blending actually went really, really nicely. I will say where the colours are meeting here, there is a little bit of murkiness, but that is colour theory. It's nothing to do with the palette whatsoever. It's because like green and like red and orange are sort of like opposite colours, so when they meet together, if you try and blend like green and red together, it's not going to work very well, and that's sort of where that murkiness is coming from, so we're just going to ignore it. Packed on really nicely, blended really nicely, blended together really nicely. I will say, I did find that the bluey green side, I don't know where I'm pointing, the bluey green side blended together a little bit easier than like the purple pink orangey side. I found that the purple and the pink worked well together. The main colour I had issue with was the orange, which was weird because orange is usually a very easy to work with colour. I'd say if you're more of a neutral person, orange is a good colour to work with because of how easily it works most of the time. But yeah, for some reason orange was the colour I was struggling with. But now we're going to test out the shimmers. And now that I'm looking at the shimmers, because honestly I've just blanked them out of my eyesight so far, there are quite a few. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that is 8, 9, 10, 11. See these two here, I already know I'm not going to particularly like them. I will swatch them. That one is Lemonade and this one is Phoenix. They're more like metallic-y shades. I prefer something with glitter. I just like them more. So yeah, those two shades aren't going to be anything special. This one here, Bottle, looks gorgeous. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it today. But that might be my favourite shimmer. I think the shimmer I am going to use is this one here called Azure. I think I'm going to use that. I was going to cut my crease, but I'm incredibly lazy and this video has already been a pain in the arse to film, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pack it on with a brush. But yeah, so I think there were, sorry I've got fallout in the palette. So I think there are 12 shimmers in here out of what, 34, 70, 42. Fine, that's not a bad split in my opinion. I kind of wish there were some lighter shimmers. They're all pretty dark. Like I think Azure is the lightest one in here. Maybe Marine. No, Azure is lighter. Yeah, there's not really anything I can use on my inner corner, which is a slight annoyance. But I will live at the end of the day. Yeah, we're going to use Azure. I'm basically going to try and do like a fake cut crease. I'm not actually going to cut my crease, but I'm going to make it look like I have, or at least attempt to. and then we'll test the liquid glitter. Let's do that. That's gone on beautifully. It did take a little bit of work. It has given me quite a bit of fallout. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. What I will say about it is fully opaque. Like, it is fully opaque. Where it's on my lid, you can't see my lid underneath it. However, you can tell where there is a shadow underneath it. For example, when I go further up into my crease and it's sitting on top of that darker blue, you can tell the difference. It still looks really nice, and actually I think this would be stunning on a smoky eye. If I did like a dark blue smoky eye, or even a purple smoky eye, because actually it sat really nicely on top of the purple as well, and like covered my lid in like a dark matte purple or blue, and then put this on top, I think it would be gorgeous. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's so pretty. It's got such dimension to it. It's got that real glittery effect. I really like it. Yeah, I'm sold. I already know for a fact that there are shimmers in this palette that are not going to work as well as that one. For example, the two that I swatched, like Lemonade and Phoenix, they're not going to give this effect because they're more of like a metallic, whereas I more enjoy glitter. But yeah, there we go. I love that shade. I actually really do. Now we're going to try the liquid glitter. I don't know what I want to do with it. I think, so I've watched a lot of people test Mitchell's Drip Drip, and what they like to do is put it on the back of their hand, go in with a fluffy brush and pat that on top. I'm going to attempt that, and if it doesn't work, I'll just put it straight on my eyelid. It looks like this. I will say, I do have one of their liquid eyeshadows already. Ooh. Which is in like a dark blue, like marine colour. I really enjoy it, it just doesn't suit every look, so I don't use it that often. I'm going to go in with one of the fluffy brushes from their set, and I'm just going to take it on there. Oh, it's so stunning. It doesn't look like it's picking up on the brush. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's really nice. What I'm going to do though is do what probably I would normally do and go in with a flat packing brush, very similar to what I used for the shimmer, and use that instead. I'm just again taking it off the back of my hand, and we will pat this on top. That's gone on really nicely, and I do think it works. I think the fluffy brush actually worked really well. The flat brush also worked really well. I do like it, it does look nice. However, I have like a pressed glitter eyeshadow type thing from Kiko that I use all the time, and I feel like that would give a very similar effect. So maybe it's nice to have a liquid version so I can use either or. What I'm going to do now, go off camera, do the shimmers on my other eye, clean up my fallout, and then I will come back on camera and run through my base. I have nothing new to test on my base, so once again I'm going to just run through it sped up on camera, music on top. You can see all the products I'm using, but they will also be listed down in the description box in case you are interested. I promise I will start testing makeup again soon. I think everything is done apart from my lower lash line and my lip, but I always do my lip last, so we're going to do my lower lash line. I'm going to do brown because I've pretty much used every other like major colour in the palette apart from the browns. So yeah, I'm going to do my lower lash line brown. Not a typical thing I do, but I'm going to give it a go, and we might as well test the browns in the palette because there is quite a few of them. Like there's 4 browns along here, that's kind of a red, but there's 4 browns, so we might as well give them a go. I'm going to start with the... No, I'm not going to start with the darkest one just because my eyeshadow isn't that dark, so I'm actually going to start with this one called Truffle. Yes. I will say, of the 4 browns, these 3 are kind of a bit more cool tone. This one is a bit warmer, which I don't really know how that fits with the others, but far be it from me. That's the... You know what I mean. Truffle, let's give it a go. That shade's gone really nicely. It's a typical brown shade. It looks really nice. It works really well. Yeah, not much to really say about it. Brown eyeshadow doesn't excite me loads. I use it a lot for work, but other than that, not really that fussed about it. Now we're going to go in with Porcelain. Again, gone on really nicely. That's actually a really nice brown. It's the sort of thing I would use for work pretty much. And now, just to sort of tie it into the top a little bit, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the yellow called Sunflower, which we used on the top on the outside, so it should mesh together really well. That's actually a really nice little combo. For work, I would probably use those 3 matte shades all over my eye and just do a shimmer, and that would work for me really, really well. What I'm going to do now is actually cut this bit out of the video, because we all know I don't like doing it on camera. Actually, I was going to use this one, but I won't. So I was going to use Made by Mitchell or Smudge No Budge in Be It 1, which is a brown, but I actually think I'm going to go in with Ideas, which is more of like a yellowy orange. So yeah, like I said, going to cut this out of the video. I don't like watching it. I can't be the only person who doesn't like watching it. And then we'll come back and we'll do mascara and lips. That actually ties in all the yellows really nicely. I think yellow is sort of the common theme through the look, because obviously you've got it on the green side, on the purple side and underneath. So actually that sort of yellowy tone in eyeliner works really well as well. Mascara. I actually didn't write down which one I wanted, so I get to pick. For mascara, I'm actually going to go for my mini of the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. I haven't used this since I tested it, but I remember liking it, so let's put it on. Mascara is on. Now I need a lip colour. I think I'm going to go neutral, because I don't really know what else would work with this, so let me quickly pick a liner and a lipstick to use. For lips, I'm going to use this. It is the NYX Lip Lingerie XXL in the shade Straps Off. This was very kindly sent to me by NYX quite a while ago. It looks kind of like purpley red. It's actually just a dark brown, and I think that will go quite nicely. And I haven't used a liquid lipstick in a very, very long time. There we go. I'm not going to lie, I kind of think the dark colour makes my lips look quite small. But it's fine, I'm going to take this off and film another video in a minute anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But there we go. That is my look using the Bright 2.0 palette by Beautybay. Let me quickly do my thoughts on the palette as they stand right now. First of all, Beautybay, amazing formula. Was not surprised by that. I think most of the colours blended together really easily. There's a good selection of colours in here. I think a lot of the colours work well together. I think there's a lot of options you have from this palette. The shimmers, some of them I think are really good. I know I've only used one, but just based off like my knowledge of Beautybay formulas and things like that and what I like, I think there's going to be some shimmers in here that I'm just not going to like, particularly Lemonade and Phoenix, which is a shame because they're both lovely colours. They're just not going to be my sort of formula. However, I do think like Azure, Cobra, Marine, Bottle, Nectar, Space, they do look, and this one down here called Embers, I think those are going to be formulas that I really like. So realistically, the majority of the shimmers are my type of thing. I do wish there were some lighter shimmers in here. I don't really think there's anything in here that I could use as an inner corner shade or a brow highlight or anything like that, but that's fine. If I pull that from another palette, or even if I just use the highlighter that I have on my face, doesn't bother me, works fine. I think the colour selection is actually gorgeous. I actually prefer this colour selection over the Bright Matte colour selection. I love the Bright Matte palette, I really do. But I just prefer these colours here. I think there's a lot more like different tones, different directions you can take this in. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit washed out. The sun has decided to just come through a lot. But yeah, I really like the palette. I knew the formula was going to be good. Yeah, if you're looking for a rainbow palette, I do recommend it. I also recommend the Bright Mattes. I also recommend the original Bright palette. Yeah, really happy with it. And I'm pretty sure these palettes are maybe £25, I think, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, definitely worth it in my opinion. I definitely recommend any Beautybay palette. I think they're all amazing. I will say the one that they've recently released, like the Christmas one, doesn't look to be my sort of thing. So I'm probably not going to pick that one up. But any of the 42 pan or the 16 pan or the 9 pan versions that they do of these are really good. All of their limited edition 20 pan palettes are also really good. So yeah, very happy I have this. And then the only other thing I tested was the liquid glitter. And like I said, I have tested one of these before. However, I do think this is a very different formula. The one I have before is more like a more opaque liquid eyeshadow. This I sort of view as like a liquid glitter. It is really nice, it's very pretty. I will have to sort of get used to using it a little bit, but that's the same with most makeup. But other than that, I'm just checking myself out in my monitor. I really quite like the look. It's not, by any stretch of the imagination, the best look I've ever done in my life. And I actually was looking at it and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've done this look 1,000 times over. I'm pretty sure I did it with the Stacey Marie Carnival palette. Because this is just what I like to do with rainbow palettes. And it works for me. But yeah, I do like the look. I like my overall look as well. As much as I said that the dark lipstick makes my lips look small, which I do agree with, I do think it looks nice with, like, the eyes are really bold, but then my base is quite like toned down in my opinion. Yeah, so overall, pretty happy. Can you tell I haven't filmed in a while because I'm really chatty and don't really know how to do videos. It's great. But anyway, there we go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up a video every Saturday and it's always makeup related, so if that sounds good to you, then this is the place to be. Yeah, that sounded wrong. I think I just did that wrong, but oh well. My next video should be testing another eyeshadow palette. But it is also a little bit of testing Be Perfect, I think, because I think I'm testing the Be Perfect Rain palette. And I have a few, and I mean not very many, but a few other Be Perfect products that I'll be testing in that video. So yeah, that'll be next Saturday. As this video goes up, my exam will be on Wednesday. So wish me good luck in the comments, and hopefully it goes alright. I will obviously let you guys know how it goes. Not in my next video because I'm filming that today and I've not sat the exam yet. But I will let you know at some point how the exam went, and I will have my results by the end of the year, so hopefully I can let you know how I did at the end of the year. And then I'll be free to spend as much time as I want on YouTube, which will be great fun. But other than that, I will let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!